This nest is here every year. It's robins. It's really cool to watch them hatch. It's not really cool when I scare the crap out of them and you have a bunch of fledgling birds then flopping all around the place and you have to run around and try to help them and rescue them. Been there, done that. I think the one next to it's empty. Yep. And then I got another one back here that they've used in years past. Let's see on that. How's that look? It's also empty. Oh, that's great. I heard these guys just buzzing around. How about that? Hey! Just bounced off me. I just got a warning bump. Then another one right there. I'll have to take care of these.
This is Blackwater Honey Forge, named in part after the Blackwater River we live near in central New Hampshire, and in part after the master craftsmanship of honeybees. This is a place for learning, discussion, and to practice the art of beekeeping. Welcome to the journey. Be well and forge on.
Well, that was fun with those paper wasps. One of them definitely hard charged me and didn't sting me, but bumped me to let me know. But when I chased it around with the flamethrower, didn't really appreciate that and kind of left. So this is going to be a very easy week bee work wise. So stick around. I'm going to be feeding the bees that I have in hive-and-a-halves, checking on them, seeing how much wax they've built on their new foundations in their hive-and-a-halves, and then getting them ready for the spring flow. The flow. It's not really the spring flow here in New Hampshire because we're getting into June. It's actually May 31st right now, Sunday. So last day of May, and the flow's been on for a little bit, but it hasn't really popped yet. So I want to make sure those hive-and-a-halves are ready to really receive the flow in my area. I've already seen some other beekeepers that have had stacks of 5 supers on and things like that on top of their hives. They're running single deep, so everything is that gets harvested gets put up above that brood box. Not my management style, but man, those people get a lot of honey, I'll tell you that. So yeah, right now what I'm doing actually is I'm making up some sugar syrup, not making a ton. Just using 10 gallons of water, 25 pounds of sugar. It roughly makes about a, not a 1-to-1. I do a super thin right now where I do 1.5 water to 1 sugar. And that really helps stimulate the bees. And I'll go ahead and get that mixed up. I'll show you that when it's getting mixed up. Then we'll go up and we'll feed some bees and we'll check on some frames. And then I got a whole bunch of other stuff non-bee related today to do. Mow the lawn and take care of the yard. I still got more firewood that I got to stack. So let's get to mixing some sugar. So since it's a small amount, I just have my 1 pump in there right now. I have 2 1/4 horsepower pumps. I really wish I had just 1/2 horsepower pump, because when it does not pump strong enough, when I have too much feed in here, if I'm doing 35, 40 gallons, I actually throw in a second pump and hook it up to my discharge area and get 2 pumps running at once, because that moves the water a little bit better. I use hot water right out of the tap. I actually, I think this year I'm going to install a hot spigot coming out of the house. That way I don't have to carry buckets out of my house. I can just run a hose and pour hot water right in. And it's really this easy. No matter if you're making ultra thin or 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, just add the right amount of water, the right amount of sugar, and give it about 5 minutes to circulate. I also have started adding bleach to my sugar syrup. I just do 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. I've been listening to a lot of stuff on YouTube that suggests some really good benefits on that. can't remember which video it was that I watched. It might have been the Sustainable Beekeepers Guild of Michigan there, where they had a guest on that talked about bleach in the sugar syrup. I might be mistaken on that, so don't quote me on it. So now that it's all mixed up with the pump running, we're just going to go ahead and open up the discharge port and close down the circulation line. And there we go. Now we're filling up our holding tank. And this will pump down to about 1/8 of an inch in there. So it does leave a little bit in the tank. So I do end up having to pick up that drum and trying to pour it in there, which generally makes it a mess, which the bees actually appreciate. But it makes pretty quick work of it. And if you haven't heard about the extra thin sugar syrup, I really recommend listening to Bob Benny. Talks a lot about doing a thin sugar syrup, 1.3 or 1.5 to 1 part of sugar. And he talks about how that stimulates the bees. Well, I'm going to assume at the moment you can see me. I just knocked over my my vlogging camera, dragging out my my sugar feed hose, and just shattered the screen on it. So it's got a little viewer screen separate from the actual camera portion. And the camera may or may not be working. The shutter button made the appropriate noise when I pushed it, so yep, there goes $400. Cool. Let's feed some bees. Easy day. What could go wrong, right? Ugh. Ugh. I told myself too. I said, don't drag the hose. Don't do that yet, because you'll probably knock over your camera. This is what happens when you tell yourself advice and you don't listen to it. I don't even know if I'm going to really need the smoke, because most of these I'm just cracking open and feeding. But curiosity tells me to look at some of the frames too. The cool thing is about everything that's a hive-and-a-half right now is they have really, really good entrance activity, which I'm really happy to see. We had some real bad rain a night and a half ago, or not last night, but the night before. And we got probably 1 inch plus easy all in one night. It dumped on us. So these ladies are probably very happy to get out. And I'd move the camera closer and try to give you a better view, but I can't see what we're looking at. So if I find something good, which I can already see they got white wax all over the place in here, I'm going to bring it to you. You know what? I'll come to you. Come on. Look at that. Look at that. That's all brand new wax. These ladies are billing it out great. And they got 4 frames like that. 4 out of 8. Oops. Minus 1 worker. Sorry, worker fatality. Talk to your union rep. Workman's comp insurance. And then, of course, I'm going to get a bunch of these wet. But there you go, ladies. Oh, I think I turned my battery off. Today is a day. Hey, there we go. That's working a bit better now. I'm actually glad I lit the smoker just so the fact that I can move some of these bees, because I don't want to crush a bunch here on the rim. Let's see. I did say that today's a light day in the bee yard, and that is true. But I've actually been really busy in general with the business because I have my first farmer's market coming up this weekend. So I've been labeling a lot, bottling a lot, making all of my products, making sure I have enough inventory to bring there and sit at the farmer's market and look pretty. and hopefully people will come and enjoy everything that I have to offer. In addition, I also just brought a really good honey order down to a local hardware store, which I was super excited about because I've mentioned in previous videos, breaking into the honey market's been tough for me. I have some stores that are carrying my wax products and such. I have a tick right here on my visor. Ticks are so bad this year. So anyway, so I've been, doing wax products at different locations, but it's been hard to break into the honey market because a lot of stores already have existing honey producers there. So I was really, really happy to get the order in for a sizable order for honey, and hopefully that's the start of a good relationship with that store in that regards. And then, yeah, just obviously hoping that the farmer's market goes well. I now need to also source a new camera, so that's a bummer. It's a short video this week. Let's go ahead and keep moving down the line here. Hopefully I'll be continuing to be in frame, and we'll check on a couple more of these hive-and-a-halves. Also, I have 2 splits that I did Walkaway splits on the hive in the number 2 position. That's something I need to do too. I need to put all the numbers on these hives. I stopped at 14 and I'm up to 32 hives with the number tag, so I got to get going on that. Of course, then I got this one in the middle here in between 2 numbers that doesn't have a tag, so they're not going to be sequential. I don't think the bees will hold me accountable for that. But anyway, what I was about to say was I have some Walkaway splits that I did almost a month ago now. They were splits on 5/7. So since those were true Walkaways, they did have to make their own queen cell as well. Is this the other one? I know I did it on 2. So I am going to wait one more week, and then we'll go ahead and open those up and see how those Walkaway splits go. I like the activity I see at the entrances. They're bringing in pollen, so there's all sorts of good signs, but I don't want to open up the hives early and spook a queen or mess up the flow of that colony. So, as I was saying, let's continue moving along. Lots of bees up here working. Definitely don't... they're starting to draw white wax. Let's just go ahead and move the camera. Do this one-handed for a moment. Ooh, they don't like the camera. I think I'm going to get that out of here. They're attacking the heck out of that thing. But I don't know if you can see in there, but they're definitely starting to draw the wax out a little bit. Not as good as that first hive, though. Yeah, there's something about that camera in their face. They don't like it. These bees are camera shy. So, and I have a few more to do. The Walkaway splits. Let me turn the camera back around here. The Walkaway splits, assuming that those look good in a week, I'll be putting another medium brood chamber on them as well, turning those into a hive-and-a-half. Hopefully going into this season with as many hive-and-a-halves as I can, because that's going to be part of my switching over to all mediums next year. My process, part of the process of getting rid of the deep brood chambers. So, I don't want to ramble on for no reason. Super quick and easy week. Hopefully you don't break your camera this week or anything else that's of, high value. Be careful, slow down, listen to your own advice. Be well, Forge on.